Well, that sucked. Let's get into it. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Way of Dad podcast. Glad to have you here, despite the fact that today is not a good day to be a Bengals fan. Um, gonna do a little Monday morning quarterbacking here. Um, well, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back too hard, but I did call it. I said it was gonna be 24-21 Bengals. That was the part that I got wrong. Apparently, was the winning part. So, wow, that was a rough game. It was ugly. I called that part two. I know originally Vegas had the Bengals as I think a touchdown advantage, and I just didn't buy that at all. Really didn't. Um, let's get with the bad. Let's get the bad out of the way. Um, Clark Harris getting hurt was one of the bigger things that really obviously just hamstrung this team's ability to win the game. Of course, it wouldn't have been a big deal if other things hadn't happened, but this is like the most prominent thing that happened in the game, regardless of other circumstances. Um, Mitchell Wilcox, kind of feel bad for the guy. He had to come in and do something that probably no one really perceives they're going to have to do. Oh, you're the backup long snapper. Okay, and you practice a little bit and you do it, but Clark Harris, I don't remember the last time he missed a game. Um, and if he has, it's been extremely rare. So, um, that was huge. It affected the kicking game. It affected McPherson's timing. Bad snap on the field goal in overtime. It was a high snap. Kevin Huber tried to get it down, couldn't get the laces turned. That caused a shank, and you know, and I've read a lot of people, and I agree. You kick it on third down there, and apparently even that was the plan was you were kicking it on third down so we got another chance. If the snap is bad, Kevin just lays on it, downs it, we try the kick again. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know if he just thought, yeah, okay, it's high, but I can still get it. You know. Um, One of the other bad things, the O line was, um, not good. Overall, just not good. They look like a bunch of individuals who have not played together. Jonah Williams didn't look amazing. Lael Collins definitely, had his moments, but then he had other moments, the other kind. Um, Karras and Kappa, I guess, looked okay. Volson looked like a rookie against an all pro, probably Hall of Fame level uh, defensive tackle. Not trying to give Volson too much of a pity party or an excuse, but I expected him to look like a rookie, which is going to look even worse when you're lined up against one of the best in the league. He's probably what, top three, top four? So it was always going to be a bad day for Volson. It was just worse because the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I can't blame them. Hell, you look for weaknesses. Where's a weakness? A rookie on the O line. Ah, yeah, we're just going to keep hammering that soft spot all day. Turnovers. Jesus. that was bad. Burrow looked bad, especially in the initial in the beginning. Um, Burrow did not look good. He was forcing balls, and his accuracy was a little off in the very beginning. And I'm sorry, I disagree with Zach Taylor on all this. And I know nobody's ever going to say it. They're never going to do it because they don't want to take excuses. They're not making excuses. They didn't do what they needed to do. They lost the game. You know, they need to um they need to practice in the preseason. I'm sorry. You know, maybe it's just one series. Maybe it's two. I don't know. I don't really care. But that whole offense looked like they were spending most of the first half getting their shit together. I don't care how much you practice. I don't care how hard you practice. I don't care how much you try to replicate a game situation in practice. There is no game situation that can be replicated outside of a game. That's just all there is to it. So I think that contributed to a lot of what Burrow was doing because he eventually, like, I don't know, late in the second quarter and into the second half, he looked more like Burrow again. You know, um, you know, punting. I still absolutely baffling to punt when the clock is running and you still have 15 seconds to go. And I had heard James Rapine actually mention this on his on the Locked On Bengals podcast. Um, he he even mentioned that the whole point was, um, you know, not worrying. He didn't want Mitchell Wilcox to have to worry about the clock and the snap. Let's just get a good snap. Well, you know when you don't have to worry about the clock is when you let it run out and take a delay a game, give your punter 5 more yards, and the next down isn't on the clock. And you've now taken time away from the Steelers where they could potentially try to win it. And I hate to say it, but if you replay that game, take away their last plays that would have covered 15 seconds. It's just a baffling, absolutely baffling decision to do that. Um, why didn't Taylor challenge the call on Chase, the touchdown that Chase almost assuredly got in the end zone? I saw they released a still image of him, foot on the line, ball was like you could tell he was winging it over, trying to do the best without reaching it out and getting knocked out of his hands. But he was doing his best to get it over. It looked like it was a touchdown. Quite frankly, there was a ref right there staring right at him the whole time. I don't know how he didn't see it. But um and of course, I don't know, was it Taylor's call for everybody to hurry up to the line, or was that Burrow's call? Whereas Burrow hurried him up to the line, didn't give the guys up in the box time to message Taylor, say, "Hey, challenge this." Don't know. Probably won't ever know. So a lot of this I just bring down to rust. It's rust. The team's rusty. Burrow was rusty. The O line was rusty. The play calling at times was rusty. It wasn't extreme or anything, but some of the situational calls, um, whether to challenge or not challenge, whether to let the time run off or not, things like that. Everything looked rusty. Um, the good, there was some good, believe it or not. Wasn't a lot. Um, Hayden Hurst looks legit. You want to talk about, like, there was that one catch in the early in the game, and he was all fired up, and I love that. And then I didn't really see him much after that for a good while. Boy, he came alive at the end of the game, and he looks like a beast. He looks like the kind of tight end presence we haven't had here. Oh gosh, I don't know when. I really don't remember when we've had a tight end that kind of reminds me of this. But he looked awesome. Um, I will say, carryover from last year that's really good. This team does not quit, and they handle adversity very, very well, even if they created all of it for themselves. Um, I love that part of them. They don't get too high or too low. Um, they just don't get down. Um, it's the same thing we saw last season twice against the Chiefs. And that's great, and that's going to be valuable. Um, like I said, regardless of who causes the adversity, whether they do it to themselves or someone else is doing it to them, they don't quit, they don't give up, they keep playing, and they play hard. Um, La'el Collins he was kind of in the negative. He was kind of on the bad side and the good side. There were some plays that that TJ, there was one that looked like TJ almost got a free rush, and we were like, how do you not block him? And then they played a replay, and I saw it was like he was just lined up so far out uh, from the offensive side to the right that La'el Collins just couldn't get out that far. He couldn't line up any farther off the line. Like, the line has to line up in a certain spot. And the defensive ends, they can line up like way wide. And it was almost impossible for Collins to get out there to get him. He could barely chip him, if anything. But after that, I noticed Collins didn't get to Burrow, or I'm sorry, Watt didn't get to Burrow very much after that. Watt affected the game in other ways as far as tipping balls and of course one he just straight caught. That was crazy. Um, Last really good thing I noticed is the D is excellent. The D is what saved this game as far as the ability to stay in it. If it wasn't for me and my buddy Dave, we were watching the game and we were kind of like blown away. Like we were kind of like trying to think like going into the half. It's like, wait a minute, they've got like 4 turnovers, and we're only down by 11. Like that's crazy. 4 turnovers. I mean, hell, this game should damn near be over. And so that's where I'm saying for the Steelers going forward, not that I care about their team other than, hoping that they suck the rest of the year. Their D's legit, but their offense doesn't look anything super special. I mean, yeah, obviously they won. But if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm not going to let these guys waste a minute feeling good about themselves because that was an ugly game. They could have put it away so many times, and they just didn't. And I mean the offense. The offense should have been able. They had so many short fields, and they couldn't do that much. They couldn't capitalize when they needed to. Defense got a fair amount of stop. The Bengals D got a fair amount of stops on them. We were kind of hoping for a takeaway at some point. Couldn't quite pull that off. So, I'm going to keep this one relatively short. Looking ahead towards Dallas. This one's going to be tough. I'm going to go ahead and give a prediction now, even though a lot of bad news for Dallas is really fresh. Dak Prescott looks like he's going to be out for at least a handful of weeks. Oh, God, that's a terrible pun. I'm sorry. It's shit. That's a terrible pun. So apparently I read, I watched some of the game last night, and Dallas looked bad. I'm not saying Tampa Bay looked amazing, but it looked like more of a game where the defenses kind of ruled the day, but eventually Tampa Bay was able to do something other than, kick field goals. But the game, even at 9-3, Tampa Bay over Dallas, even at 9-3, I think it was 12-3 at the half. That game looked over already. Dallas had no juice in them. Their offense had no juice. They didn't look that good. I mean, their defense was trying to keep it at least relatively honest. But Dak Prescott apparently injured his hand, and it's going to require surgery. So he's going to be out for at least, I think they're saying at least 3 or 4 weeks, maybe longer. So that means Cooper Rush is going to start. Cooper Rush has started before. He has played games before. I know that. So I do feel like this has the hallmarks of a get-right game at just the right time for the Bengals. I know everybody's worried about them going 0-2, and obviously that's always a possibility. If you lose the first game, the chance of going 0-2 exists in the next week. That's how it works. But I'm not. I think this feels like a get-right game. It has all the hallmarks. Now, I mean, you've got a backup quarterback starting, and you've got Joe Burrow, who apparently, other than his press conference, was sitting at his locker with his arms crossed, or at least very, very, stoic, just staring across at the wall. And nobody bothered him. Everybody mostly left him alone, other than maybe a quick fist bump type thing or something like that. That's a guy that is boiling at the moment. He is steaming, fuming in himself. He is intense. He's working it out. And I love that in his press conference, he mostly just went to, we'll have to watch the tape. We'll have to watch the tape. Oh, was it rust? We'll have to watch the tape. Was it what about your O-line? We'll have to watch the tape. Blah, blah. He gave a couple compliments when he could, about Hayden Hurst and things like that. But other than that, he did his best to say virtually nothing. And then, but he is already working the game over in his head. So, looking forward to Dallas. I think they win this game, and I'm going to call it. So I saw somewhere where someone said Dallas was being in Vegas. Dallas was being put as a 2-point, or the Bengals were being listed as a 2-point underdog to Dallas. I don't think that line's going to last long. If that line's still there, you might want to put money there. I'm going to say 28-21. I'm trying to give Dallas a little bit of credit. Cooper Rush, I did watch just a little bit of him, and I mean, I guess he looks okay. Probably going to be a run-heavy attack. I don't know that they're going to be trying to air it out super good or super whatever. I don't know where I was going with that one. I don't know that they're going to be airing it out a lot. Let me put it that way. But I think it's a get-right game, and hopefully it is. So a little bit of housekeeping, wrapping this up. Please like and share, the videos and all that stuff if you like what you see, like what you hear. But the biggest thing I can ask you to do right now is to subscribe to the channel on YouTube or on Rumble. Either one is perfectly fine. I'm trying to grow this channel, and I've got to, there's certain benchmarks I've got to grow it to. Everybody talks about monetization. That doesn't really do a lot, because that just means you'll see some ads before the video or something like that. But it doesn't. Let's just say those are pennies. Those are peanuts. What it really does for me, though, is it allows me to start accepting. It allows me to create a community so I can actually post messages, updates about the channel. I can post polls. I can interact more with my viewers. It also allows me to take super chats if people want to throw a little money in the donation jar or whatever, the tip jar, however, whatever kind of phrasing you want to use there. That would be nice too. But I've got to get a lot more subscribers. I think 1,000 subscribers and 10,000 watch hours, which sounds like a lot, but it's not if everybody, if people who watch this, they go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then you share it with your friends. I appreciate it very much. I'm trying to do this as good as I can. I'm trying to get better, and hopefully this season will be interesting, and it'll allow me to help kind of grow this. Um, but I do appreciate any and all support you can offer. It makes a world of difference to me. So another thing is going on vacation, leaving on Thursday, going out of the country. I'm going to do my best to try to watch the Bengals games as best I can. I don't know what kind of access I'm going to have over there. I don't know if it'll be, it probably won't be on TV. American football in Europe is not, I don't think it's as well liked. But I should be able to at least keep track of the games, even if I can't watch them. Thankfully, it's a 425 and a 1. I'll miss the next two games. I should be able to live stream coming up to the Dolphins game though, which would be nice. Um, so hopefully I'll be able to keep track of those. I will post videos. I don't know if I'll live stream though. I don't know how strong my Wi-Fi is going to be, and I don't know if I'm really going to be able to dedicate the time to doing a live stream. But I will post, record and post some short videos. I don't think I'll do anything. Um, I'm not turning it into a travel vlog, but I don't know if I'll have any time to do any uh, pop culture stuff, movie reviews, or anything like that. It'll probably just mostly be Bengal stuff while I'm out of the country. But in the meantime, um, I will make some posts or some videos. I'll post some videos and things like that. And well, gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And as tough as it is, Who-Dey. And until next time, take care and have a great day.